So, one of the things that you've said recently is that your group of friends impacts how fast you compound.
So insights are usually connected from random dots getting connected, right? Uh, but the process of collecting dots has to be efficient for the process of connecting dots to be more efficient. Uh, and then collecting dots is easier if your friends are also collecting dots to connect dots. So what happens is that compounding naturally works better when you have a lot of people from different domains of life who are constantly collecting dots. For example, I spend a lot of time with a lot of different people from different fields to see how these worlds connect. For example, I will sometimes speak to an influencer, to a stand-up comedian, to a music director, to an entrepreneur in a completely different space, because at when you distill insight, things connect. On the surface level, they look like very, very different businesses, right? For example, I can't tell you how similar education and gambling businesses are at the crux of it, and why people do what they do, and why the gross margins seem to be high, and why luxury goods businesses is similar to education businesses, because at the crux of it the principles are remaining the same. And only when you ask and go deeper into some of these things they connect. I've seen a pattern uh, where uh, people from these industries don't talk to each other. Usually the luxury guys are talking to other luxury guys and other luxury guys. Like, look at, I mean, the reason I'm envious of you, because you have like made the most efficient machine of connecting dots. Like, you are talking to people from such diverse backgrounds, and the amount of things that are connecting in your head from different things is like something I really envy. And I when you pinged me, I said, Shane, I wish I had what you do in life. I'm so envious of you, because what you're able to do is get such, and I've seen that things connect when you go really deep or you go really wide, and things just then start connecting with each other, right? And therefore, one of the things that I do a lot is constantly look for origin stories of why certain things exist. For example, uh, I was curious about shampoo as a product. I'm like, who the hell came up with this name? And then I found that the origin story of shampoo is an Indian trader who went to Europe to sell a shikakai, which is a different product in India, and sold it as a champi. Champi is like head massage, which creates foam, and that was called shampoo by European guys, and it became the product. And no Indian who uses shampoo knows that the word shampoo comes from champi, which we use as a word for head massage. And then I see these things, and I'm like, when you go to origin stories of many, many things, there are so many first principles that connect. And then you say, oh, Indian traders used to make these kind of trips and all of that. For example, I was studying, I'm like, let's study all the history. So Premchand Roychand was a rich guy. I was like, okay, who are the other rich people of India? And I found this guy called as David Sasson, who was an Afghan trader who made it big in Bombay. And I'm like, how did he make it big? Then I found out that he was the largest opium trader for the region, and British made the entire rail network to support his opium business, which grew opium across the world, India, and shipped it through Bombay to, guess where, China. And David Sasson had a huge role to play in the opium war that happened, where British attacked China because they stopped David's supply to go to China because of banning opium. And Hong Kong was born out of the settlement of opium war. And many of the banks that we know today from Hong Kong are actually the banks made by the opium traders. And I'm like blown away by all of these things, because nobody has any interest in going to the history and origin stories. We just accept things to be that way. But when you go to the first principle origin stories, building blocks, things connect, and they just see, you see patterns again and again repeating. For example, the Boston Tea Party in the US, which triggered the Civil War of or whatever, was not just tea. They were also taxing uh, tobacco. They were also taxing stamp papers, and you like realize that how there was a beautiful model of inventing stamp paper, which is Justice API. That if you use my stamp paper, I will give you justice, which was a great scalable way for governing people. When you say that I will only be helping you in courts if you signed on my stamp paper or paid my stamp duty to give you justice. So I think I find these things super fascinating, and I am I sometimes I believe that I do businesses only to hunt more insights in life. It looks like my core purpose of life is to hunt insights, and sometimes I have to build things to find insights. Sometimes I have to talk to people and find insights. Sometimes I have to read people and find insights. But I can do this uh, all day long, non-stop, and I'm constantly trying to meet people. I write to professors all the time. I will write to authors all the time to get uh, 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 them to respond to me on some hypothesis I have or some question that I have.